look absolutely stunning.
Thank you. I wish I could say the same.
I know. I would give you a hug. We'll have to get a cover up later, but so it's been 128 days since I was first supposed to meet you, and so clearly I've gone a little crazy during that time. I think magic will be in the air with Claire and I tonight. I'm doing what it takes to stand out, and I would not be in the straitjacket if I wasn't dedicated to Claire. You would think that I'm the most dedicated one here.
You teach me and I'll teach you.
Fade 'em on.
Gotta catch 'em all.
Fade 'em on.
Gotta catch 'em all.
Bad lesson number 3 that men learn from watching The Bachelorette is to do whatever it takes to get her attention. This show teaches men to worry so much about getting her attention and validation. And the problem is that high status men don't work for approval from women. Think about how this show is set up. 31 men and 1 woman. The guys want to stay on the show. So by virtue of how this is set up, it forces men to go, I need to stand out. I need to make a grand entrance. I need to do whatever it takes to get her attention, right? It's teaching bad habits around women. I've got to figure out how I can one up the next guy because there's 31 guys here. I've got to win. At that same token, if they're all together in these environments where they do their little meet and greets or whatever, okay, the cool move is to just play it back and just, not be rushing, not chasing after. Like I always say, right? If you chase after a cat, the cat runs away. So that's not a good move to chase after. But again, the way that this whole thing is set up, men have to chase after and fight to grab her, pull her aside to get their chance with her, to get their time with her. It's a system. This whole show is a system set up to create really, really poor, bad habits in men that work backwards against you with women. It repels women. But by how it's set up, men play by this game. And then they show all the other men to play by this game. And then they show the 39-year-old women at home that don't even look anything like Claire. They show those women, well, guys need to try harder to get me. That's right, Claire, you empowered woman. If she can do it, I can do it too. So you see how this works again, both ways, brainwashing us in opposite directions.
All right, check this next guy out. Total beta mon. This is so awkward, by the way. Just watch her. She is not into this guy at all.
Looks familiar. You doing okay?
I'm doing okay.
She says, I love it. I absolutely love it. No, she doesn't. She's totally lying.
We got 8.5 months. What are we doing?
At least.
He's doing that quarantine.
Claire, you look absolutely beautiful. I'm Jason.
Belly in the way.
Oh my god. So I wanted to pay homage to you. Come here.
Yes.
Because I remember you walked so elegantly and beautifully up here holding your belly.
Oh, yeah.
So now it's my turn.
Okay, so I saw that and I was like, no. I didn't know what this guy was doing. But now we found out more about Claire. This is how she showed up when she was on The Bachelor earlier.
I'm going to show you that I'm here to prove to you that I'm willing to hold the weight of this relationship and the labor of my love for you.
Oh, I love it.
I can't wait.
My kind of guy.
We're going to have a great time. Come here. Come see you inside.
Yes, I needed this.
She was laughing. She loved it. Because
No, she didn't love it at all, this guy.
I was bringing back, the memories when she came out of limo.
Hey. What do you know about this? Hey, Claire.
Oh,
Okay, so by the way, I have to clarify this. It actually sent me, I went through half that episode going, when I watched this in 2014, was Claire literally a finalist and she was pregnant the whole time? So then I thought she was like a single mother and all that. No, it got Claire. I forgot. Claire did that as a joke. She showed up because the guy, Juan Pablo, had a daughter. So she's like, hey, look, I'm ready for a child type thing. That was the way that she showed up. So she didn't actually have a kid. I had to actually clarify on that one. Just by the way this was spliced together, it confused me. But either way, all these guys doing all this for attention, it backfires.
Now watch this. Just so you can see, the other guys in the room are just like, oh, I don't have to worry about this guy.
That's right there, bad boy. My godchild still doing okay?
It's doing okay. Hopefully she saw that I was funny. I'm here to make an impact, and hopefully I can.
Yeah, he has no chance. Those guys are like, oh, cool, he's done for, even though I don't know what they're doing in on this.
I'm out.
But yeah, so well, and I realized too. Okay, what I meant by that the guys. Okay, the guys that actually have experience with women in that room, like I said, there's going to be the guys that are actual Chad and Tyrones that show up on the show for fame and for publicity. Those guys sense right away when that guy walks in with the pillow, they're like, oh, I don't have to worry about this guy, because they understand the rules with women. The harder you try like that, the more it makes her wonder, why is he trying so hard? And then she actually is like more turned off by you. So the guys that understand women, when a guy comes in with the pillow in there, they just go, easy, one less I don't have to worry about, 29 others now that I can beat type thing. The guys that are actually going on here are more for just the fun of it, the game part, not actually looking for love part. Oh, and this is still lesson number 3 on doing whatever it takes to notice you. So many guys did some Betamon moves here.
So weird, guys.
Oh,
First off, you look absolutely stunning.
thank you. I wish I could say the same.
I know, I would give you a hug. We'll have to get a cover up later, but so it's been 128 days since I was first supposed to meet you, and clearly I've gone a little crazy during that time. I think magic will be in the air with Claire night and night. I'm doing what it takes to stand out, and I would not be in the straitjacket if I wasn't dedicated to Claire. You would think that I'm the most dedicated one here.
We got guys show. I don't get it. They don't get it. Those guys don't have a shot. This is easy. I'm gonna predict who's gonna win this. Guys, I figured out.
Okay, so that like this guy, what did he say here? This is exactly why he did it. Listen.
If I wasn't dedicated to Claire, you would think that I'm the most dedicated one here.
He said that I wouldn't have worn the straitjacket if I wasn't dedicated to Claire. So, by her seeing I'm wearing the straitjacket, she's going to know I'm the most dedicated. Like, that's his logic, which, again, is horrible. That's just setting him up for getting ran all over as her little Betamon. Where am I at here? No, 557. We'll go back here. Okay. So, we had a guy that showed up in a giant bubble. Right here on the picture, you can see that. And we saw the guy that showed up in a full armor suit. We saw the guy with the belly. We saw the straitjacket guy. There were many others. A guy that brought moon pies. Another guy that brought some popcorn. Anyway, the harder you try to impress her, the more she doubts you and wonders, why is he trying so hard to impress me? Right? This is why these games are so interesting. Because the mainstream games that say you're supposed to pursue women, chase after her, tell her how you feel. In reality, it's the opposite game. That tells women, it's like, okay, boom, nice, I have this guy. I know him. I know his entire poker hand, so now I can play the game how I want to play because he spilled everything. It's genius, right? It's genius for women to, is a culture, create this like standard that you're supposed to pursue and express your feelings to women. Think about that, right? All these women are getting the poker hand revealed to them, and then they know how to do whatever the heck they want. They know how to get whatever the heck they want from these Betamon. So in exactly how I mentioned right here, where when a guy is a white knight and says, hey, he's a player. Hey, stop hanging out with Adam. He was hanging out with another girl last night. When they make these moves, again, the woman goes, perfect. Thank you for telling me that this is a guy that other women want. Now I'm going to check out and see what it is about him that other women want. Thank you. What they'll do, though, is they'll tell you, they'll go, Oh, you're such a good guy, always looking out for me. What would I do without you? They'll tell you like, man, you're such a respectful man. Any girl would be lucky to have you. They tell that to these guys, so they keep white knighting and keep simping. Meanwhile, they are taking a list of all the guys that this guy's complaining about. Oh, this guy's a player. Oh, he's a bad guy. Oh, he's a jerk. And she's just like, ooh, this sounds exciting. This sounds interesting. I can't wait to message this guy. So in that same idea, right? The opposite works when a guy is trying hard to impress a woman. Because then she goes, why is this guy doing so much work advertising for himself, trying so hard? He must not get this chance very often. If he doesn't get this chance very often, it's because girls don't give him this chance very often. If girls don't give him this chance very often, it's because they've found out something that they see as very low value in this guy. They did the work for me. Great. He's reeking of desperation. Now I know that's not a guy that I'm going to be attracted to in any way. She might take you and she might throw a little pokeball at you and put you in a pokeball and keep you on her waist, right? To be the emotional tampon or the free meal guy. But there's no way she's attracted to that guy.
You teach me and I'll teach you.
Beta mon.
Gotta catch 'em all.
Beta mon.
Gotta catch 'em all.
And so by virtue of what all these guys are doing, they're just lowering their own value by trying so hard to impress her, trying so hard to think of the perfect line to say, the perfect thing to say to her. They're trying to show her how good of a guy they are. When in reality, the guys that they actually want are the guys that don't need to express that. They're just like, I'm cool. She'll sense it on me. She'll feel it. My confidence oozes off of me, so I don't have to say a word. She's going to tell that I'm a guy that she wants just by the way I look at her, just by the way I look at her disapprovingly, just by the way I call her out. She's going to feel that I'm not a beta mon, and therefore that raises that guy's status. He doesn't try all these crazy games. So we had men that tried bringing her gifts, like I said, moon pies, popcorn. We had the guy dressing as a knight. We had wearing weird costumes. We had a guy show up in a scarf and a Rolls Royce. We had another guy show up in a station wagon. But what this does is, again, this sets the stage where she is the prize. They're all competing, trying to win her over. They're trying to make a good first impression. But women respect men that know that they themselves, those men, are the actual prize. And a woman can never love a man until she respects a man. If she doesn't respect you as a man, she will never love you. And we've already talked about love is a different thing for men and women. But one of those things is she has to respect you to be in love with you. And by virtue of doing all this stuff, they won't respect the men that placate to her, that put her on a pedestal, that worship her. We all know this, right? A woman wants to be 1 inch from the finish line, and she wants a guy to run on by, and she just wants to go, ooh, that looks fun, and literally hop on and just take a piggyback ride from that guy. Ooh, I'm just going to latch on here. She wants the guy that is the prize, and then she just jumps on. Boop. Hey, look what I got. Versus all these other guys that are like, well, I'm going to do whatever I can for her because she's the prize. Those are the guys that she's like sitting waiting by the finish line, and those guys are at the start of the finish line looking around going, hey, where's a girl that I can run to? Because that is their whole goal, is their finish line is getting to a girl. No women want that. They're all those women are hanging out 1 inch from the finish line going, Chad's running by, I'm going to jump on. Tyrone's running by, I'm going to jump on. Boom. All right, I think we're on number 4. Oh, yeah, we're on number 4, guys. Let me wet the whistle. Hey, save life. Hey, that's big of you to admit, though. I didn't realize how betamon I was before I started watching this channel. Well, there's so much to learn. There's so much to learn in this, but the fun part is the more you learn, the more you see it, like I said, this is what's the fun part. When guys always say there's so many games to learn, I get it, right? There's some guys that don't want to play the games. They just want to, I'm not going to involve myself with the women. And I totally understand and respect that. But the guys that go, there's so much to learn, again, it's the compound effect. It's like the more you realize all of these things that other guys do wrong, that is why it's so easy for the Chad and Tyrones of the world. They don't have to do much. So again, it looks like a lot when you're learning all these rules, but when you realize it, all you have to do is sit back and be patient because all of the other guys around her make these mistakes and then they're like sick of those guys. That's why when I tell guys, stop texting her back, stop double texting her, make her miss you, make her chase you. Because right now she doesn't even realize you're a guy that she wants because all these other guys are striking out all around her. What happens is you marinate. You slowly marinate as the guy that's not over eager. But most guys never get to that point. Most guys on online dating, they maybe start talking to a girl, they get a couple messages in, and then that girl doesn't respond for a few days because she has hundreds of messages. So that guy goes, well, shoot, we had a conversation. I better jump back in there before she forgets about me. Not realizing that the guys that understand game, I just literally go, I'm going to send this. I know this is a good thing to send, and I wait. And I know that if she doesn't reply for 3 days or a week, I understand the game. What happens is all these other guys are just striking out. And finally, she like sits back and goes, oh, this is exhausting. And she's like, God, all these guys won't stop. And then she scrolls down. What about that Adam guy? He hasn't replied for 3 days. She goes back into the conversation. Dang, he seems pretty cool by his text. He's not like over pursuing me. He's not, coming out in a bubble trying to impress me. He's not coming out in a knight of, armor trying to impress me. So most guys that might have a shot, they get too eager and then they act when they shouldn't act. And then they double text her, triple text her. And then now if she replies, she already knows, oh, easy. If I don't reply to this guy for a couple of days, he'll send me another text and another text. So she never learns that she has to chase you. She never learns that, so then she never chases. But all right, so number 4, I don't know how I got into that side tangent. Don't forget, subscribe, like, comment, share the video, but definitely subscribe.